Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wickedly Haunted. I'm Todd.
What's on the wall over there?
And all beings.
What's on the wall over there?
Ten years ago, we lived through some of the most intense paranormal activity imaginable. That led us to research haunted locations, supernatural beings,
What's on the wall over there?
and all different types of paranormal activity. What we discovered, the South Coast is wickedly haunted. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wickedly Haunted. I'm Todd. This is my wife, Marissa. How's everybody doing tonight? Tonight we have a very special guest. This gentleman has written over 16 books. He is the Emmy-nominated star of New England Legends, which airs on PBS and Amazon Prime. Paranormal expert, Mr. Jeff Belanger. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Hello, Todd.
Give me 1 second. I have a quick audio issue.
All right.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, there we go. That should be all set.
This is how we know we
are. There we go. Hey. All right. I forgot to click a button on my computer.
Yeah, we've all been there.
It's the streaming age, right? What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
How are you doing tonight, Jeff?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Good. We're fantastic. We want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
As I mentioned a few minutes ago, we're big fans, and we're absolutely thrilled to have you on the show. We were talking about a little bit before the show. You had written a book about communicating with spirits. I believe it was called Conjuring the Dead.
Communicating with the Dead.
Communicating with the Dead.
Yeah.
With Relatively Paranormal, which is our research group, communicating with the spirits is honestly like our favorite part of the whole investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come up with theories for our research, we like getting the answers as to whether or not they're correct from the dead themselves. In your research and experience, what do you think are the best ways to communicate with spirits, old school, new school, a little both?
So that book, just in full disclosure, was really about the methods people have used to communicate with the dead. So there's esoteric methods like Ouija boards or talking boards, spirit boards, dowsing rods, all kinds of things, even tarot cards, old school stuff, but then also got into ITC or instrumental trance communication, which would include EVP, EMF meters, anything that falls under like the more technological aspects. So it wasn't so much about a how-to. It was more of who is doing this and why, and how did we get here? And so, like, for example, one of the things that really interests me is that the reason everybody uses EMF meters on an investigation is because a psychic medium like 120 years ago said, the electric eel can project energy, and humans are animals too. We must have some version of that. And so old school ghost hunters, way back when in England and stuff like that, they were using galvoscopes and they were trying to measure static charges in rooms and things like that. And so really, we haven't come very far in 100 years of paranormal investigation. The tools are fancier. They look neat. They've got lights and they flash, but we're running on the same ideas we were running on 120 years ago. I don't know if I've ever spoken to the dead. I mean, I've tried. I've used Ouija boards. I've been in the rooms and stuff, and I've tried to talk, and I didn't really get anything that I thought was a definitive answer. So I don't know what's the best way. I assume it's whatever works best for the individual. I mean, some person's really good with esoteric tools. Someone else might be good at EVP or whatever. But the reality is, I don't know, man. I don't know how this works. It just intrigues me that we have this yearning, and have for many thousands of years, to try to make that contact.
I mean, all right, so she wants me to tell you, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I believe I've created something, a spirit box that works with ITC apps that with this box right here, which we call the Vortex, it allows direct communication with spirits. I kid you not. I don't know if you have a chance to, if you can hang out for a couple of minutes when I show some of the videos, we get real direct answers, sometimes really freaky responses. Even crazier, Jeff, is often we can hear the spirits talking to each other about us, or they'll listen to what we're saying and butt into our conversation. It's so crazy that, you know, you watch a Ghost Hunters and they have a few EVPs or whatnot. When I have to translate the videos, because sometimes I don't edit them, but I do slow them down to sometimes listen because they talk fast. And they don't stop talking through this device, and it's kind of
words though. They're conversations.
Yes, like, it's real conversations
back and forth that we can have with the spirits. It's amazing.
Cool.
It's amazing. Cool. Yeah.
So so I was just curious what y'all thought. Is we always like to, make contact by using like a maglite flashlight, an EMF matter. We like things to corroborate the evidence. The more things going off at once, the more it makes me think that things are happening. And proves, that what's going on is going on. But, I'd love a chance for you to come with us one time and listen to this. I swear to God, it would blow your mind. It's pretty, honestly,
somebody needs to see it.
It's just freaky the way it works. I don't know. I can't believe it works as well as it does.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, people forever have been trying to come up with ways, methods, devices, and so on to try to bridge this gap. Thomas Edison, right? One of the greatest inventors of all time, so many patents to his name. He was working on a device that he wrote about extensively. In fact, God, I don't know if I have it nearby, but anyway, he wrote this book, The Diary and Sundry Observations of Thomas Alva Edison. And it's got like 60 pages of material on his views on the spirit world, how he believes he can make a device to make contact. And the device he describes sounds almost like a telegraph. You push the button and you and so his idea was to come up with a telegraph that took very little energy, just the slightest bit, to make some kind of contact. And then spirits would be able to communicate with him. And this book came out, and it was a big embarrassment because for the family, the estate, for General Electric, of course, he was on the board and one of the founders. And so they put the book out again and took all that stuff out. And I actually have both first editions of the book. Wow. That's got like the 60 extra pages and one that doesn't. And that was through the miracle of eBay. I happened to find the right one. And the seller didn't know what he had. So I actually bought the real original cheaper than the other one. So
even back then, that was an embarrassment. I thought spiritualism was pretty huge back then, but it was still kind of like on the fringe.
No, of course, spiritualism is always and will always be on the fringe, I think, anyway. I mean, it's just not every day, but there's a reason. So, okay, I'm not going to name any names. It doesn't matter anyway. Let's say I had an app, and I do not, but if I had an app that allowed you to have absolute contact, back and forth phone call with someone you love who's died. Let's pretend that such a thing existed. Is it a good idea? And I can think of lots of arguments against that being a good idea.
Yeah.
And very few arguments for. So let's say, God forbid, I know you guys are parents, right? God forbid you lost a child.
Oh, God, yeah.
And you could communicate, just pick up your phone, buy my app, which doesn't exist. Can't stress enough. Not real. But, buy this app and you could communicate with your lost child. You would never get over the grieving. You would never move on. You would never go on with your life, which is what we're supposed to do. So my question is it a good idea if such technology really can be developed and exist? I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, I agree with you because my aunt ended up in a situation. My cousin passed. It was a few years ago. He was only 18 at the time, and she's had a hard time moving on over the years and has gone to mediums and stuff like that. And it certainly didn't help things. I'll tell you that. Certainly my device can't dial up anyone we want, but we're at haunted locations.
Right.
And we're making contact. Like I mentioned, we always try to make contact first before we start it up. But it's funny, Jeff, because once this device turns on, it's almost like they stop using everything else. Like they won't use the flashlight as much. They'll stop using the EMF. Like all they want to use is that. And if we shut this off, then they'll stop blowing up all the other devices again to get us to turn it back on. It's kind of
That's
It's
cool.
like it's like I threw the kitchen sink in here. I don't have enough time to explain it right now, but
And I probably wouldn't understand it anyway.
no, you would get it.
I'm not that smart.
I'll explain it to you one day if
All right.
I can pick your brain for one day, for an hour or two. One day I'll explain. You'll get it. You'll understand. It'll make all the sense in the world to you. Now the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is we mainly stay local, New Bedford, stuff like that. We do go to Plymouth sometimes. We went to the Conjuring House and stuff like that. I know you're a pretty big expert on the Bridgewater Triangle. And I was watching a documentary one day a few months ago that you were in about the Bridgewater Triangle, and you said, listen, I know it's kind of mapped out, but those aren't like actual lines, like it can certainly seep out of there. And what kind of energy do you think is in the triangle, and how far reaching is it, do you think?
So to me, the underlying cause of the Bridgewater Triangle is the King Phillips War. Right. It was, I mean, the very first sin of the colonists were to come here over from Europe and eradicate the people that had been here for thousands of years. And it's such a weird thing. Right. So we celebrate Thanksgiving, where the Indians and the Pilgrims had this wonderful meal and they helped each other. And well, really, the Indians helped the Pilgrims. We all know that the Pilgrims were just going to die. And so we celebrate this meal. And then, you know, that's 1620, 1621. And then we sort of jump ahead and forget all about the stuff that happened in between there. The Bridgewater Triangle is, to me, this like hotbed of the King Phillips War. The bloodiest battle per capita in American or British history to date, meaning the largest percentage of the population wiped out. And it's all in that area. Horrible things, horrible atrocities happened. And it's a war we don't talk about or think about. And yet, I mean, you guys, you're close enough. You might have heard of like King Phillips High School, right? Like that's just north of you. It's like
about the King Philip War, certainly, yeah.
Well, there's a high school, King Phillips High School, right? It's a half hour north of you. And what's weird to me is like if King Philip was an enemy, then why do we name a high school after him? And if he wasn't an enemy, if he was someone like a local person that we should celebrate, then why did we go to war and kill him? Right? Like, so it's this real struggle we have with our own identity, and that we weren't always the good guys. And that underlying scar leaves a mark. And I think that, the idea of this unfinished business that we deal with hauntings, it's like an unsolved murder. It's like this horrible atrocity that we don't like talking about. And it took place all over this huge region. So yeah, while the traditional triangle is like, Bridgewater down to Dighton, over Freetown, like you could easily double that, double it. You could go all the way up to Plymouth. You could go down into Rhode Island. You could even go into a little bit into Eastern Connecticut easily. And there's no line in the sand. It's just this weird area where there's an awful lot of strange stuff going on. And when you start to add it all up, it gets really interesting.
It really does. That actually brings us to last weekend. We went to Plymouth. One of our favorite places to investigate in the whole world is Burial Hill Cemetery, where
sure,
some of the pilgrims have been buried and stuff. Extremely active, but obviously it's a little cold, so we were going to try to go there for a little bit. And we rented. Do you know about room 309 at the John Carver Inn?
No, I don't know that one.
It's supposedly a haunted room that we read about. So we went there, and we were gonna. It's right next to the graveyard, like literally could throw a stone. Mm-hmm. And we stayed in the room. That hotel was so active. It was unbelievably active. Do you think that spirits can actually bleed out of that graveyard into a place like a hotel, where to me it would be attractive because you have the negative energy where people go to hotels as a last stop. A lot of people commit suicide there, or they're getting divorced. They have nowhere to go. And then you have the positive energy of people on vacation, kids swimming. You have the duality of the hotel. And because honestly, at one point we were talking to 4 or 5 spirits, and I couldn't figure out how the heck they were all in the hotel. I know the hotel's been there a long time. I guess even before that, it was in the Revolutionary War, it was a dorm for medical students who robbed graves from Burial Hill and would experiment on them right there. So I don't know if it was some of those spirits. But you think when spirits are stuck, they're stuck?
No, I don't believe they're stuck. I've never found a place that's haunted all the time. Otherwise, I would buy it and I would charge you crazy money to come in and see it. I'd be like, sick money. I'd be like, how much you got? So the reality is this stuff comes and goes through reasons that I don't fully understand. And so my theory, my own idea is that we summon them. We summon these spirits. Hotels are transient places where thousands upon thousands of people have come and gone. Like you said, some have made it their last stop. Maybe some people were happier there, whatever. But I think we're all empathic to some degree, right? We tune into the emotions of other people, but that's to be human. And it's not a stretch for me to tune into the emotions of people who were in a location but aren't necessarily there now. And so I think sometimes what's happening is we're just getting sensitive and we're literally conjuring and summoning this energy of the past. Some of it may be intelligent. Some of it may just be this residual thing that's sort of hanging around. Yeah. I mean, if I knew how it all worked, I swear I'd tell you, but in reality, I don't know. But I do know this, that the people that walk in oblivious to the location and have nothing paranormal happen to them, maybe it's because they're not putting their mind there. And it's that simple, that they're just like, I'm thinking about my next phone call. I'm thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner and not thinking about how old this place is and who could have been here. And so they have this perfectly pleasant stay, no ghosts, no nothing. And then someone else goes in and they're so sensitive, they're picking up everything. That's just different people, right?
Yeah. I believe we probably are conjuring to some point.
Well, sure. You walk into a room and you say, whoever is there, talk to me. Right? That's conjuring. You do that. Go walk into McDonald's and be like, hey, someone talk to me. You're conjuring, right? You're probably going to get an employee that talks to you.
Marissa thinks you can conjure she thinks you could go anywhere and conjure and talk to spirits.
I don't see why you couldn't. Why do you have to be in a graveyard? Right? I mean, you're in a graveyard because that puts you in a mental state of knowing this is where dead people are. And so you're in the right setting to think about that stuff. Whereas in the McDonald's, you might be just thinking about your lunch, you know? But no, of course, I mean, human activity happens everywhere. It makes just as much sense to me, except that's not the context of spooky places, right? Like McDonald's by the fryer machine is not where we think about, you know, horror movie settings and things like that. We think about it in old abandoned buildings and cemeteries at midnight. That's where that's where we're in the right mindset. But the reality is people have left a mark everywhere that they've gone.
I mean, I'll tell you what's funny. We're actually sitting in a haunted location. We live in a converted school building that was built in 1882. It's haunted, and there's a recent spirit here, a young lady who passed about 2012 on the 3rd floor. Marissa picked up on her. She's a little sensitive. When we moved in, we investigated, got some contact with her. She gave us her last name. We asked the building manager. He said, well, I know her first name. Once we matched the last name, she found her obituary, and we've been talking to her ever since.
Wow.
We're trying to find a way to actually.
I invited her sisters over. Her
yes.
sisters came over and actually were able to talk to her.
Wow.
She died of like an overdose upstairs. It was, but it was quite like.
It was interesting. I've never seen on TV or anywhere else anybody bring a family to talk to a ghost before and have it actually happen on camera. It was actually really awesome.
Yeah. We did that on Ghost Adventures. We did that on an episode at a private home that we had done. I think it was a year or so ago. But yeah, it's rare when it happens. But yeah, it's
awesome.
Yeah. She started mentioning her kids and her cousins, and the names were coming out, and the sisters were like, "Oh, so and so, and she would say, "Can I see a picture?" And they would show a picture, and we would hear wailing and crying out of the box. It was freaky. It was kind of freaky.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But this place we are in a haunted location right now. This is actually the second haunted house we lived in. A decade ago, we moved into a crazy haunted building, and that's how we got started on this. I didn't know if I believed in ghosts or not a decade ago.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's seeing is believing, living it is believing. And that's the game changer. I totally accept people that don't believe in ghosts who say like, well, I've never seen one, so the jury's out. That's fair. But when you have the experience and you have no other word for it, then you become a believer.
We had just met and moved in together, and she was seeing things. I was seeing things. It took us months before I was finally like, do you ever see anything sitting here? And she said, what, the white misty thing that walks by the door? I thought it was crazy. And I said, so did I. And that's how we actually started researching it. But that's how it started. It was freaky. I thought I was losing it because I didn't know if I believed in them or not. Neither did she. We just met. Like, you want to, the person you just started dating and move in together. You're like, hey, you see a 6-foot-tall white misty guy walk by the door every night.
Yeah.
But I know you kind of got to get going. But before we let you go, I know you just wrote a new book about your experience climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Can you tell us a little bit about it before you get going? The Call of Kilimanjaro, Finding Hope Above the Clouds. And I know it is above the clouds. It's what, 20,000 feet above sea level?
19,341, but who's counting? Yeah, no, it was this amazing life-changing experience that I got to go through back in 2017. I'd lost my brother-in-law to cancer, and it was one of these things where, like, we were sort of getting over that, and then the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society announced that a friend that I have that works there told me, hey, we're doing this Kilimanjaro thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about that mountain since childhood. And it was such a deeply profound spiritual, not just physical experience, but spiritual experience, to get up that high and to a place where there's no reason to go up there. There's no air, there's no food, there's no water, there's no animals, there's no bugs, there's nothing grows up there. And yet to reach that point, to get to that altitude, it's a place the Maasai people say it's the house of God up there, and only those deemed worthy are allowed up. And when you've it takes 6 days to get up there, and that last night as we started at midnight, I'll tell you, getting to the rim of the volcano, seeing that sunrise, I mean, I felt the presence of God. I felt my brother-in-law with me. And I just absolutely had this spiritual, profound moment. And I came back and I just started writing about it, and it turned into a book. So very excited. It just came out a couple of days ago.
You didn't plan on writing the book when you went up there. It was something after.
Yeah, no, I wanted the experience, but as I was going through it, I was like, wow, you could feel yourself changing, and just evolving as a person and coming back different. And I talked about it in front of some audiences. I had shared the experience, and people wanted to know more, and I was writing more. And then the next thing you know, you realize I think this is a book. And so that took, it's way faster to climb a mountain than write a book. I'll tell you that. So it took like a year and a half, and it just came out. So pretty excited.
It's really admirable that you're donating to cancer as well. My dad's battling cancer right now, and he just started a new treatment yesterday, as a matter of fact. So it's not lymphoma or blood cancer, but it's kidney cancer, and we think it's really admirable. So
I can't wait to read the book. It should be great.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So
thank you, guys.
I want to thank you for your time, Jeff. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it. You guys take care, and happy hunting.
Listen, thank you so much. Anytime you want to come back, let me know. You're always welcome.
Thank you. Sounds good, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, Jeff.
See ya.
So that was Jeff Belanger, one of the premier paranormal experts. Not only everybody in the world, he's been on a million different shows, and he is amazing. Yeah, he is. The man's an incredible storyteller, knows everything probably there is to know about the history of paranormal in this area, which was one of the big reasons we brought him on. Really just a lot of fun to have him on tonight.
He sure was.
So we did mention that last weekend we had an investigation planned even more local than Plymouth that unfortunately did cancel, but we didn't want to let you guys down. So on the fly, literally on the fly, like 7 hours before we were supposed to do this other investigation, we looked and found this haunted room 309 at the John Carver Inn, which is in Plymouth, Massachusetts. It does abut our favorite, all-time favorite, most haunted place, Burial Hill Cemetery, the most active place we've ever been. It did not let us down, as you're about to see in the videos. But before we get to that, we just want to mention once again that if you are experiencing paranormal activity, if you need any help with a haunting at all, even if it's just validation, whether you're being tormented, you do not have to be on camera if you don't want. If you want to, great. We love that too. No matter what, we are here to help. If you know a haunted location locally that you would love to see us investigate, again, please email us at relativelyparanormal@gmail.com, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We are here to help and entertain as well. See, look, I want to see the videos. We're getting right to the videos right now.
Thanks,
so in the first video, it was later on in the night, probably like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I had placed this simple motion detector, $10 motion detector, down in front of the hotel room door. It was probably like 2 feet away on the other side of the bathroom, so nothing could set it off. It was over next to the door. We're standing in the absolute pitch black, blinds drawn, and all of a sudden, you're about to see this starts going off, and all hell basically breaks loose. So this first video is about the motion detector and the John Carver Inn Haunted Room 309, probably the second most active place we've ever been, believe it or not, one hotel room. So let's roll that first clip.
Something. Yes. How come none of you are showing yourselves?
They did.
Hey, the motion detector's going off over there, bro. Hey, in front of it. In front of it. It's facing the door. It's way over there. Look at it. Did somebody just walk in the door? Who just set off my motion detector?
Did you say me?
Whoa! Whoa! Dude, something just crawled up underneath the bed like in my foot. I got the chills bad. Look at that. What set that up? Something's still standing there, dude. Something is still standing there. Who just came in the door? That is crazy. Motion detector is going off. Are you videoing that? Yeah? Turn your phone on me. So that is our motion detector over there that Marissa's videotaping. I just noticed it had gone off, like out of nowhere. It never goes off. Look at it, it's still going off. That means that something's still standing there. Oh, now it's off. Never go back on. Something's still over there.
Well, you can use it all right now. Who's over by the door? You're banging? Mm-hmm. It's right here. Who's banging on the wall over here? I did. Hear that?
Yes. Look where?
What's truly amazing here is that when the motion detector senses something in its field of view, it stays on for probably less than 10 seconds. The light cycles through basically the rainbow of colors and then shuts off once the object has moved. The fact that this is just shutting off now after over 2 minutes of being on means that something walked through the door of our hotel room and stood there this whole time. That's not even counting the flurry of activity and spirit voices that went on around us during this whole time. Really just a truly amazing 2 minutes of activity during a whole night of really extreme activity in one single hotel room. I don't know if you noticed in the background too, on the table in between the two beds, the flashlights are turning on and off the whole time. That hotel room was out of control, out of control. I mean, we were talking to 4 or 5 spirits at once. I mean, we're standing in the pitch black. We could have investigated all night. We really could have. Yeah. At the end of the night, when we shut off all the equipment, I forgot to shut off one little static detector with a little blue light on it. And when you shut everything off and they want to keep talking, they'll go to the next thing and the next thing until you have to like run over and shut them all off to stop the communication. And then I turned around and this thing's still going off. Yeah. It wouldn't shut off. And that it's one of the things that never goes off. Also,
yes, we do. Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We do come to people's homes. Tomorrow night, we're going to be at somebody's home helping them out. Somebody's being tormented by something. They're not sure what it is. So,
Carol, if you need us to come to your home, just send us an email and we'll give you a call.
Relativelyparanormal@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. So that hotel room, we thought the activity was going to be at the graveyard. It ended up being 8 degrees over there.
Oh my God, it was awful.
So
and
we
I forgot my jacket.
So we came back to say, hey, all right, let's try the hotel room now. We were gonna do it a little later, and it exploded. It exploded. It was just completely out of control. Now the next video we're gonna show, when we go out, we try to take pictures as well. I'm kind of standoff pictures versus video because video you can see what's going on the whole time. But when we take pictures, we always have the video rolling so you can see what's going on. And the rule of thumb at Relatively Paranormal is we take multiple pictures in a row, at least 3 in a row, because when an entity will manifest on camera, they will only do it for a frame or 2, and it will go away. If something stays there for 3, 4, 5 frames and it doesn't change at all, it doesn't move, it's got to be something else, like a camera anomaly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't take orbs on still cameras. If they float across the screen on a video camera and they're flashing, and great. But as far as regular cameras go, we have rules in place for it. But the picture Marissa got the other night,
oh my God,
which you're about to see,
I was so excited.
I almost had a heart attack when she showed me. This next video we're gonna roll into, it's me taking pictures of the spirits. This has never really worked before in the last 5 years.
For a goof, like
sometimes something will show up, but not like this. Let's roll this next video, and you comment, let us know what you think, because it blew me away, and I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been researching paranormal for 10. Roll it.
And somebody take a picture. Did you have to take a picture?
Yeah.
Is there anybody you want to take a picture with me? Why is it not mapping me? Take a picture with me, ready?
You actually have your arm around the center.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, I can see it too.
Cheese.
You're not gonna believe this, Todd. You're not gonna believe it. I am taking it. Hang on, I gotta take a picture.
Someone taking a picture with me? Dude, the back of my arm is ice cold, like my tricep on this arm right here. Is somebody touching my tricep? Who? Did you hear the answer? Something moved behind me.
Decomposed spirit.
Marissa.
Yeah.
Something moved behind me as I was doing that.
Look at the flashlight's going crazy.
Yeah, it's
Good job on the flashlight, guys.
Who's standing behind me? That's ice cold. Who is it?
Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the picture Marissa took when she said she could see something forming near me, and I was asking something in the room, a spirit or a ghost, to take a picture with me. What you can see here is a blow up of that picture, and clearly in the crook of my arm there is a man's head visible with features. You can see his hair, nose, mouth, everything. I know this one's a little grainy, but it's a complete blow up of just the man's head. The small screen, if that's what you're on, does not do it justice. Look at this on a big screen, it will blow your mind. Now these next 3 pictures show how we do our due diligence by taking multiple photos. The first picture, you can start to see the head dissolving away. The following picture, it's mostly dissolved, following by the last picture where there is almost nothing there but like a smoky residue where my arm was. These pictures are 100% real and 100% amazing. All right, what do you think? Because I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Too. And those are just taken on my cell phone.
If you're on a cell phone or a tablet, please go rewatch this on a computer. Look, I just saw them read that. The amount of activity, yeah. I've never had a man's head like that, and you can hear during the thing, even though we're in the pitch black, Marissa's looking through the phone camera, and she sees this thing start to manifest, and I can feel the ice cold block of ice on my arm from the man standing there, and then he says, "The ice isn't cold. Whatever. It's not ice.
It's me. That's me. Or something.
Yeah,
It's
something
not the
like
ice,
that.
It's me. That's what
it's not the ice. It's me." So like that, he's admitting he's the one drawing the heat out of the air, making my arm frozen cold. Really, like, what's that amazing amount of activity? Most famous. What is that? Oh yeah, the videos we make, honestly.
Oh yeah, thanks, Jacqueline.
We're going to be having a live premiere party after this at 7:15 on our YouTube channel, Relatively Paranormal. I think Mike's going to put the link up. You'll be able to watch our latest episode with us. There's much less talking and fooling around during that. It's pure paranormal evidence. If you want to, see paranormal evidence and like that, this video is chock full that we're going to air at 7:15 on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Donna, wait, you keep hearing like a
yeah, I mean, what you have is there's so many spirits coming in. A lot of the voices that you're hearing are spirits talking over each other. You'll have layers of voices because they will talk over each other, and they're talking to each other at the same time, like we were talking about with Jeff Belanger. And so when you read it, sometimes it doesn't make sense until you listen to it and you realize that, oh my God, they were talking to each other. Like one will ask a question of the other one. Like that's how amazing this box right here is, the vortex.
Carol.
Because you can hear spirits talking to each other. You can hear them talking to us. They listen to us and butt into the conversation and comment with what we're saying. I have so many subtitles. It takes me to process 10, 15 minutes. It takes me 3 hours because there's so many spirits talking over each other. Again, I don't edit it. What I do is sometimes I slow it down so I can hear all the layers of voices. So you will hear a child, a woman, a demonic weird voice, and they're all talking at the same time. Sometimes in our videos, we'll even hear Marissa, me, or Brandon say, listen, can you please take one at a time?
Yeah, we can't hear you all, so yeah.
But we try to practice a proactive type of ghost hunting where, you know, we announce ourselves to the spirits, as we've mentioned before, and we bring the activity to us rather than wandering around yelling, are you here? Are you out there? You know, we say, you know, any ghosts, any demons, entities, whoever's in this location, come talk to us. We have things that you can talk to us through, and they come. They've never not come.
Of course, yeah, because they have been looking for somebody to help them speak or to get their story out to for the longest time.
90% of ghosts are dead human beings like you and I.
Most of them. That
didn't go to the light for whatever reason. They stayed here. And can you imagine being in a location for a decade, even a year, 100 years? You go to England, some of those ghosts are 1,000 years old, and they have no one to talk to. They're lonely. They're tormented. They want to move on. And the only way to get people's attention is to throw things, to bang on walls, to make noises. And then we come along with our box and our flats and everything, and they can communicate with us.
You know. Do you have the clip on here where they say the Mayflower?
No, I don't
okay,
think
well,
so.
let me just tell you real quick that this, oh, great, thanks, Danielle. So it's not on here, but you guys will see it eventually. At this hotel room that we went to, when we were talking to some of the spirits, we ended up speaking with somebody. His name was like Paul.
You explained that we were right next to the burial hill.
Oh, right next to Burial Hill in Plymouth.
The hotel room is next to a graveyard where the pilgrims are buried. There's Revolutionary War soldiers. It goes back to like the 1600s, the grave. So
I should explain that. So anyhow, basically we asked, we were asking the guy, about himself a little bit, and he told us that he came here on the Mayflower, like straight up said Mayflower, so that was pretty amazing.
We had another guy tell us he was a Revolutionary War soldier. He was shot in the back. His name was Paul. I think it's the guy who took the picture with me, honestly.
Yeah, same time.
Honestly, that's who I think. No, well, that couldn't come on the Mayflower. The Revolution one.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait, I thought that Paul was the Mayflower guy.
No, he was the Revolutionary War soldier. Okay, so moving on to the next video. We have an SLS camera, which if you're not familiar with that's structured light sensor is what it stands for. Xbox with their 360 had a device called the Kinect that you could map out a human being playing baseball or basketball, and somebody figured out that there was other things showing up on this that were stick figures without outlines of bodies, and that they were possibly spirits. Well, we've had this for a while, and when these things pop up, it's absolutely incredible. And what you're about to see is a ghost pop up on this, and just like in the movies, this freaky thing climbs up the wall onto the ceiling. We actually think might have been a demon. But let's roll the next clip. The ghost of demon on the ceiling with the SLS camera. It's really freaky stuff. Different ways. Yes. Demon, okay. So that's who just came in the room? On my neck.
Yeah. No, it's a rosary. You want a rosary?
What's around my neck?
Gold, he said. Did you say gold? Who's on my cross?
Jesus. Elizabeth.
Jesus is?
Jesus is.
And do you know what's special about my cross? Do you know what I had done to it? What? I had something done to it. What did I have done to it?
She said bless. Yeah, it said right before that you had a blessing done. It said that right before you just you hear it, right? Just put it all together.
Oh my God!
You had a blessing done.
So that's even. If all that wasn't creepy enough, now you'll get to see what we think is the demon saying all that. There's something over there, wherever that is.
Probably me.
No, there's not.
Oh.
It's not you. Where is that? Oh my God, look at it, Marissa.
What?
It's huge. Who's on the wall? Marissa's climbing on the ceiling and climbing on the ceiling. Who's on the ceiling? Who's on the ceiling? Oh my God, Marissa, it's on the fucking ceiling and it's huge. Who's on the ceiling? Oh my God, look at this thing. It's so big I can't even map the whole thing. What the f? Who's up? It's right above me. You're right above me? And I'm getting hit with blasts of cold air.
Yeah, it's freezing.
Listen, you gotta see this thing. Look at it.
Oh my goodness.
It's stretching out across the whole ceiling.
Sure it is.
Who's on the ceiling? Who? What are you doing up there? Where is he going? Get the thermal and put it up there.
Yeah, where is it?
It's right over there in front of the TV. On a cup. Look at him. He's like swimming across the room. Look at that shit. That is fucked up. What the f are you? That is. Actually, if you swear, but that is just wrong. Yes. Can you come down off the ceiling?
Oh my God, the entire ceiling is purple.
Oh, he's gone. All right, so that was actually a great example of ghosts talking to each other. They said, "Who is that?" And what did they say? That was a ghost. That was.
They were like, "That's not a ghost. That's."
And then the other ghost, yeah. Then the other spirit said, "That's not a ghost.
Totally
that's
creepy.
A demon." Yeah, that's crazy. Like each stick on the stick figure is like an arm and everything, but you got to picture it in like the worst ghost horror movie you've ever seen when they're climbing up the wall and then onto the ceiling and they're right above you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the pitch black. I'm seeing this thing being mapped out above my head. That's why I swore. It freaked me out. It crawled right above my head. It was directly above me. I was waiting for it to drop down on me. Like it was that freaky. No, seriously. And then the thing screaming out of the box. I heard it say it's a demon. That's not a ghost. That's a demon. Like, it was crazy. It was like the size of this. It grew. Actually, it grew.
Yes.
Huge. They don't usually show up like that. Sometimes they'll show up small and normal size. And that thing was nuts.
Yeah.
It grew.
Yeah.
It absolutely grew. It was totally freaky.
And the other spirits there, the human spirits, confirmed that we don't know who that is. That must be a demon.
But it's a great example of ghosts talking to each other, asking each other questions, as well as talking to us at the same time.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was getting blasted with cold air. Marissa shivering with a sweater.
Oh my God.
We're in a hotel room. We're not outside. It wasn't really cold in there, but it became cold at that point. Honestly, this all happened in this tiny little hotel room. And we had more activity than, like somebody just said 10 minutes ago on a comment, than a ghost show walking around a haunted insane asylum or prison.
You know, we got to stay in that hotel room. What's that? Yeah. Sorry about the power. I was chewing, but you know, we were there for like 8 hours.
Yeah,
you
I think
know,
I was
we don't
trying
stop
to
investigating. We just keep going with it.
We don't stop.
If great evidence shows up and I got a mouthful of food, I'm going to show the evidence. I don't think anyone minds though to see something cool like that. Then that disappears, and this is kind of like after the motion detector. And let me just tell you, with that motion detector, when the thing was standing there, it felt like somebody was standing there, like grilling me. I felt like somebody was standing there, like eyeballing me the whole time, like some sort of demonic entity. I had stood out in the hallway when we had arrived and told any ghosts or spirits to come in our room that we had. Yeah, we slept there. Yeah, we actually slept there. Yeah, it was freaky.
Oh, yeah. $200. You better believe we slept there. No, I'm just joking.
But so, like, I felt like they kept coming in, like, you know, as if they were walking into that room out of the hallway. And when that detector went off, one thing, the thing never goes off. It felt like something was standing there. And that thing climbing on the wall is what I think came in. And so is this next thing, I think, is that same thing on the wall, except now he's dropped down to the bed area. And this is crazy. He literally stands in front of me for, listen, 20 minutes, half an hour. And he's turning the flashlights on and off and everything right in front of us on the Sls Camera. The flashlights are turning on and off and everything. It's crazy. It just, so you know, when you're watching the video, there's the 3D SLS screen, and then there's another little screen. That's an IR screen, that's infrared screen that you can also see, like the mapped figure, like in the real time, like on the real environment.
Oh, yeah.
It's not super bright, but you can still see on that too. So let's roll the last clip of the night with the SLS ghost in front of me.
That's something though.
I knew something was on me. I could feel it. It was cold.
Oh, who's over on the bed? Across from me. Hi. Can you wave? Can you wave to me? Tell me to wave.
Wave.
Tell me to wave. Hi. What are you doing?
No, it's reaching out to me though.
Can you shake my hand? What the hell's happened?
Froze.
Did it froze? I'm fucking up.
Oh, here it is.
Can you reach out and shake my hand?
Oh my God, what is he doing?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't have a wing like that other thing did, though.
He's reaching out.
Thank you. Shake my hand.
That's it.
Shake my hand. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm Todd. What's your name? Oh, Spirit? Freezing this thing. What's your name? Terry. Did you say Terry or a spirit? He's getting off the bed, and it's extremely cold now by my legs.
Punching something.
Extremely cold.
Is that you?
Can you turn the flashlight on? Oh! Turn it on?
Yep. Where'd it go?
Wow, that is fresh. Can you turn it off now? Can you reach out and turn it off?
Yeah, it's off, dude.
Alright, can you show us, can you turn it back on? We can see with our camera.
Fantastic. Excellent job.
You're a big boy, huh? Or a big woman? I don't know. Very tall.
Really? What was that?
What?
When did you hear that?
You turned it on. Look. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, look. When you have such a big eye.
Right now where it is, because right by my legs.
I know.
Are frozen. You know you're making my legs cold? You right there, buddy. You. Terry. Are you touching my neck? Yeah.
Wow.
Why did you want to shake his hand?
I don't know. But you can see him shaking my hand. It felt like a block of ice in my hand. It was really freaky. And what was crazy is that that thing was what I kept my static. I was wearing shorts. My hair on my legs was standing up. Remember, I was saying that it felt like static electricity, and it felt like my legs were inside of a refrigerator. Like, and that goes on for 20 minutes, half an hour, and you can see him turning on the flashlights. The flashlights are going on and off. It was crazy. Honestly, I'm really not afraid of ghosts. I'm more afraid of people than ghosts.
Seriously.
But after like 20 minutes, half an hour, it started to freak me out a little bit because I could feel his energy on my legs, and he was huge. It's like the ghosts we see usually aren't that big. That thing was nuts. Yeah, big boy, big woman. Yeah, it turned out to be a big demon. I think. I don't think it was either, but it was nuts. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video was another clue to that something nasty came in with the motion detectors was when I'm talking about the cross on my neck, and one of the women's spirits tries to say Jesus, and she gets shushed. She says G, and then the demon goes shh, and then he says drink the blood of the demon, and over the woman saying Jesus too. That's not, human spirits don't say stuff like that. We've been doing this a long time. Human spirits do not say stuff like that, and we have a fairly good faith in that. That's crazy. That thing was, it was absolutely massive. It was just really, really freaky stuff. But that hotel room 309, John Carver Inn, you want to ghost hunt, just make sure that you wear a cross or something, bring holy water. But that room was extremely active, extremely active. Really just, it was a great time. We're going to be playing more video from that next week. I really didn't have a chance to even delve into the video from that because it went on for like 4 or 5 hours. I have a video just like that because I ended up finishing a movie that we're going to be playing again directly after this at 7:15. You can join us on our YouTube channel. It's a live premiere party, meaning you're going to get to watch the premiere of this video with Marissa and I and do kind of what you're doing now, comment, talk to us, that sort of thing. And check out the video for the first time. It's chock full of evidence. It's called New Bedford's Downtown Demon House. It's about a recent demonic case we had down the street from our house, and really freaky stuff. And this lady was being tormented beyond belief. So really good stuff. So great show tonight. Jeff was awesome, wasn't he?
Oh my God, yeah, he's great.
Jeff was awesome. We were thrilled to have him. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Please, if you like the show and you're friends with like-minded individuals, please share it with them. The more the merrier. And thank you, everybody, for participating, commenting. And once again, we just want to mention one more time, if you're being haunted, if you're experiencing strange or paranormal activity and you're not sure what's going on, you need validation, you need help, we do cleansings. Thank you so much. We do cleansings. We can help out, as much as we can. No, I've never been hurt by a ghost before.
No.
Or if there's a haunted location locally you want to clue us into, you want to see us investigate, we'd love to go anywhere.
Yeah,
so,
but wait a second. No, I was hurt by one of those. The thing that was pinching me.
Oh, yeah, but they're going to see that tonight. I'm sorry, Marissa did actually at the demonic house. The video that you're going to see tonight, Marissa actually got pinched by a ghost, so you'll get to see that tonight.
Listen,
if you go to, assuming you go to our YouTube channel.
Like a little pinch. It freaking hurts.
This is our daughter, Julia, the littlest ghost hunter. You want to say hi to everybody? All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
And we'll see you hopefully in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
if not, next Friday.
Join us tonight, 7:15, and next Friday, 6 p.m., live from our streaming haunted house. Thank you so much for watching Wickedly Haunted.
Bye.
We appreciate it. Thank you.